Really good.
We're
Yeah.
live.
Oh, we're live. We're live. We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Hey, can y'all hear us back there?
Yeah. Oh, we're good. Okay,
Okay.
great. Good to see y'all tonight.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. All right, what's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Check,
I got
check.
you.
What's up, y'all? I'm Pooh,
I don't have you in my headset.
and with me as always, Coach Dre.
I think it's. Yeah. Okay.
I got you now.
Is that the headset?
Got you.
All
All right.
That's very loud. No, I might have turned this one up.
That's just headphones.
Oh, this is the headphones.
I don't want to do it, but we gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
Week 4.
Yep.
Central Lafourche comes to Thibodeau, beats us 36-21.
Yeah, I mean, not our best performance. Obviously, we didn't have a great night. I thought hats off to Central Lafourche.
Oh,
They played really well. They wanted to win the football game a lot more than we did, obviously. But things happen, and you got it out the way. I think it's something that we may have needed. You hate to say you needed to have a loss to bring yourself back down to earth a little bit, but that's one of those things that it happens in the course of a season. You're not always going to have your best stuff every week. And last week we definitely didn't have our best stuff. I think we were focused on the wrong things, and bad week of practice turned into a bad performance on Friday night. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
you got to move on.
Yeah, and it was hard to move on this week, especially with my Central Lafourche friends on Facebook.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of.
They got me. But
rightfully.
Ain't there one of them said anything until that game was over with. But next year, the week before, I'll be doing my thing.
Always next year, bro.
All right, let's get into these offensive stats. Braden Becknell, 6 for 23, 100 yards and interception.
Yeah, man. Look, Braden didn't have a great night. He'll be the first one to tell you. We threw it a lot more than what we have through the first 3 weeks of the season, including the preseason. Just out of necessity, I think. And we talked about it as a staff a little bit offensively. That we probably should have stuck to our guns a little bit. We probably should have stayed to true to what we do and try to continue to run the football. We thought the time left in the game was going to be a big deal, and we didn't know if we had enough time to put together 10 to 12 play drives that took 8-9 minutes off the clock and continue to score with those guys. But that's something that is a new offense to all of us. It's something that we're not accustomed to in terms of whenever you get down by a certain amount of points, what do? Do we hop out of it and get into something a little bit more faster pace, or do we stay true to what we've done, believe in what we do, and continue to do that? So it's a learning experience for everybody, but I think we got to do a better job, sticking to our plan and just being true to who we are offensively with our identity. And I think you'll see that this week.
Yep. All right. I'll run through the rushing, and then you could comment after.
Okay.
Meyer Griffin, 9 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown. Braden ran 3 times for 7 yards. Dominic Blanchard, 2 for 65. Bryson Woods, 2 for 56, and a touchdown. Bondarius Brown had 1 carry for a 7-yard down. And Jonathan Bell had 1 for 6 yards.
Yeah, so the thing that kind of stands out to me the most right there, obviously, Dominic Blanchard, 2 for 5, Bryson Woods, 2 for 56. So our wingbacks, 2 carries, almost 30 yards apiece per carry. And it's something that we just got away from, you know what I mean? So that's on us as a coaching staff. That's on me. We got to do a better job of putting our guys in positions to make plays. And I think we had some stuff, obviously, when we looked at the film that we could have done. But we just didn't get to it. We didn't do it. We didn't stick to our plan. So that's what happens. You know what I mean? So, across the board, we got to be better. But, yeah, I definitely think, we had some stuff on the perimeter runs and things like that we could have done. So, obviously, 2020.
I was about to say that.
But, it is what it is.
And obviously, you're watching the film, and you could. It's easy to say we should have did this here, we should have did that there.
No doubt.
All right, receiving, Kyron False, 1 for 40. Dom had 4 catches for 41 yards, and Jonathan Bell had 1 for 19.
Yeah. The one catch by Kyron was a really good catch
Yeah.
by him on our sideline,
Yeah.
keeping a drive alive on fourth down. It was
Made a good little run after.
Big play by him, good run after catch. Dom had a couple good catches. I thought our guys got open a good bit of the night. Braden a couple times was just a little bit off, either overshot them and just, but that's something that goes back to practice time. We hadn't been working a ton of the pass game stuff in practice, and a lot of that stuff comes down to timing. So that's something that we got to get better at as a staff. We got to get better at as a team. We just got to execute better. So obviously, 21 points. Offensively, we feel like it's a decent night. We want to have more than that, obviously, but I think with the kind of defense that we have, I think with 21 points, we should be able to win a football game. So, but obviously, some of those things, offense puts us in a bad situation early for that first score off the interception. They get down to like the 20-yard line, so they didn't have much to go. After we do 2 3-and-outs defensively, kind of takes the wind out of our sails a little bit. So those are some things, man. It is just kind of one of those games where you really got to do a good job of staying ahead of them and keeping the time of possession battle in your favor. And I just don't think we did a great job of that.
All right, final offensive stats: 18 rush attempts, 167 yards, 9.27 yards per carry. 23 pass attempts, 100 yards, 4.3.
That's a typo,
though. Yeah, that's a big
4.3 yards per attempt.
4.3 yards per attempt. Yeah. 41 total plays, 267 total yards, 6.5 yards per play, and 1 turnover.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you look at the yards per carry, 9.27 yards per carry. Obviously, stats can be misleading sometimes. Yeah. Obviously, some of those dives that we have, we're going for 0-0. Then you have a 40-something yard, you have a 30-something yard run. So, they're kind of distorted that way. But for the part, man, we need to stick to our guns. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to the plan. We'll do a better job of making sure that, we put the guys in a position to make good plays.
All right. Let's get to the defense. Tyler England, 15 total tackles, 12 solo, 3 assists, 1 tackle for loss, and a sack.
Yeah, man. Tyler played. He played his tail off. He had a great night. He was all over the field. Did a great job in the linebacker spot for us. You can't say enough about him. He's a team captain. He's a football player. He kind of made a lot of corrections from the week before, missing the tackles against Assumption. So he came out, had his best game of the season for us last week. So he was definitely one of the guys that was putting it all out there, trying to get a dub for us. We came a little bit short, but he definitely had a good night.
Yeah, he did. Roland Vining, 9 tackles, 5 solo, 4 assists, 1 tackle for loss. Jeremiah Jones, 6 tackles, 3 solo, 3 assists, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack. Connor Jaros, 7 tackles, 6 solo, 1 assist. Charles Howard, 7 tackles, 6 solo, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. Ahmad Randolph, 7 tackles, 5 solo, and 2 assists.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at that, some of our leading tacklers last week on the defensive line, Roland, Jeremiah, and Chuck. So that's 3 guys right there. Did a really good job up front, stopping the run game. Proud of those guys played. They played good technique. They did a good job at the line of scrimmage, squeezing that, the down blocks flat down the line, chasing it down the backside. Did a good job getting off blocks. So I think defensive line-wise last week, probably our, defensive line and linebackers didn't play bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to give up 36, I don't think we had a terrible night. There was a couple times where it just plays, man, big plays really hurt us, and not getting off the field on 3rd and long. We're in 3rd and long situations a bunch where they were able to convert on 3rd and longs, whether it be a trick play, whether it be a penalty, whether it be a missed tackle, things like that, where we had them wrapped up in the backfield and we missed 2, 3, 4 tackles the same play to extend the drive. Big penalty late half, face mask whenever they had no timeouts left. They, under 30 seconds left, takes them from like the 20 to somewhere around the 8-yard line, and they go 2 plays after that, and they, we had a missed tackle on the goal line.
Yeah.
where if we tackle him where he was, obviously he's inbounds. It's a run play up the middle. The clock probably, finishes out before they get the score. So you're looking at a one possession game going into halftime rather than a two possession game going into halftime. So obviously, we didn't play our best. I've said that. But, proud of the effort in the second half. You give up 4 downs in the first half defensively, and then you give up 1 in the second half. And that 1 in the second half, Tyler was cramping. He comes off the field late. You get Bobby on the field. We had 12 on the field, so Bobby runs off. It was just kind of chaos in that moment, confusion. Not everybody's lined up because Dyson's playing a different position, so he thinks he's still where he was supposed to be. Snakes on the outside. A lot of stuff going on in that moment, and they were able to bust a run to the side where we didn't have a linebacker to. So, one of those things, man, that you got to play and you got to be more focused. And, I think this week you'll see us be a lot better this week.
All right. Special teams. Zach Hutchinson, of course, perfect PATs. 3 for 3. No field goal attempts. He had 4 total kickoffs. Had 5 punts for 188 yards, 37.6 yard average. Cohen Oakland had 1 punt return for 2 yards. Kickoff returns: Jonathan Bell 1 for 37. Darius Brown 2 for 10. Kyron Falks 1 for 6, and Braden Arsenal 1 for 3.
Yeah, so Hutch is a really good football player for us, man. Great kicker. Obviously, I've raved about him a bunch. He's a weapon.
He's one of the best.
He's one of the best.
Absolutely.
In Louisiana. We're just, in the punting game, the average 37.6, we expect more from him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's something that going forward, we expect to be able to flip the field position a little bit more than what we have. Touchbacks kind of felt like every time we were kicking, the wind was blowing right in our face.
Yeah.
So that's something that we weren't fortunate to get last week. But I thought our kickoff coverage team did a pretty dang good job. Makai Sylvester had 3 tackles on that unit. Onkyle had 2 tackles on that unit. So kind of excited about the way those guys are playing kickoff coverage wise, because it's improved a lot in the first 3 weeks of the season or in the preseason going into week 1. I thought our kickoff coverage team had some holes in it, and now we've improved on that and continue to do that.
Right.
Punt return, Cohen Oakland does a good job for us back there. Jonathan Bell, he's somebody in the kickoff return game that's done a really good job getting us in really good field position. We won't have him this week. He has an injury, so he won't be playing this week. We'll have somebody different back there. Darius Brown, he does a good job every time. He's one of those up back kind of guys. In case of sky kick, things like that, we want to have somebody that can do something serious with the football right there when teams do decide to do that to us and they don't want to kick the ball deep. And then Braden Arsenault, they kind of did a short sky kick. He went back, did a good job fielding it, getting what he can get. So obviously, he's one of the smarter players on our football team. So he did a good job there. So, special teams wasn't an issue last week. I think, field position wise, we could have did a better job of flipping the field position in the punt game. But for the most part, man, special teams was not the issue. It was, offensively and defensively, we had way too many holes. And like I said, they came out and they wanted it more. So, but I will say, I'll give our guys credit. We have responded this week. We challenged them Saturday whenever we came in and watched the film and saw how bad we really did play. And they understand that, man. They're not proud of the effort that we put forth. They're not losing on their homecoming night. So I think you'll see a hungry football team that understands that, we aren't where we want to be yet. And we have a lot of work to get to where we do want to be. So at some point of this season, we're going to have to upset somebody. And, I think if you look at some of the things that have been written, some of the articles, a lot of people are picking East St. John to beat us tomorrow night. So in some people's eyes, it would be an upset. So I think you'll see a hungry football team come out tomorrow night who had a really good week of practice that's going to be ready to play.
All right. And I want to go on record saying it publicly. Central beat us. They played their asses off, and they wanted it more, and they beat us. So hats off to Central. I can't take my hats off because of the headphones.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, tip your hat, man.
All right. Yeah, they did. All right. Freshman and JV last night.
Yeah. Look, obviously talented team in East St. John comes in, and it was a long night, it was a very long night, but freshmen played well. Was really happy with their performance, both on the offensive side and the defensive side of the football. We got some guys on on the freshman team. We don't have a deep freshman team.
Right.
Obviously, we got a little bit more than 20 players, so it's not like we have a ton of guys. We got a bunch of two-way players on that freshman unit, so we can have a season because I think it's important to get those guys reps.
Absolutely.
But they did a really good job in the first half. We kind of lost some steam in the second half, obviously, because like I said, we got a lot of two-way guys.
Yeah.
But Samine Adams did a really good job for us running the football in the freshman game. Evan Murillo did a good job at quarterback for us. We got Maurice Barber, who is a two-way player. He's a backer and he's a wing back. Nasai Baker, who's a wing back and a backer. Davis on the defense, who did a really good job at the Mike linebacker position. We got a bunch of guys on that team that I'm excited about, future-wise, that are going to be really good players. And I thought they played a clean game last night. Because in freshman ball, you don't prepare for the other team's offense and defense and things like that. You just go out there, you play. You practice, you get your reps, and it's just one of those things where you're getting game speed reps. But those guys did a good job, man. And then with the JV game, I thought the JV played really, really well. We had a bunch of big plays from Vondarius Brown, which he's a guy, obviously, he's going to continue to play on Fridays, and he's going to continue to get more and more reps as the season goes on. Makai Sylvester's hurt right now, so Samine played a little bit in the JV game last night. Kamari Carto played in the JV game last night, had a touchdown late in the game. Trevon Tolliver did a good job at the wingback spot. He moved outside from receiver to wingback. Offensive line, I thought JV-wise did a really good job. We get Carson Danos back from an injury. He's somebody that we kind of penciled in preseason to play minutes, big time, football for us at the varsity level. That we're finally getting back, so we're kind of bringing him up to speed.
Right.
He played his first game last night in the JV, and he did a really good job. I mean, he did a really good job being physical, playing, nasty football up front. Ernesto Munoz does a good job up front for us, getting a snap back to the quarterback and winning the shotgun. So I think, we did a good job on the JV side offensively. Defensively, those guys played really, really well. Jake is a guy who plays, sparingly for us at varsity, plays some special teams. I think he's going to earn himself a role on Friday nights on the actual line. Playing as a rotation guy, but he played well last night. Man, we got Braden Arsenault had 2 interceptions last night against East St. John. He's always where he's supposed to be. Yeah. He does a good job being where he's supposed to be. So I was proud of the way that he played. Bobby, Braden Boyd did a good job for us, making a bunch of tackles side to side. So defensive effort was there. Defensive effort was really good. Brady scored a touchdown, scoop and score after a fumble. That was, exciting to see him, be able to do that. And, like I said, man, JV was lights out last night. JV played really, really well. So, hoping to carry that momentum into Friday night, after seeing our guys play so well, after having a really good week of practice, man. I can't stress enough how good a week of practice we had after we got a wake-up call. So,
right.
You hope that translates to Friday night. Does it always happen? Obviously not. But, man, I trust our guys to have a really good night tomorrow night. We had a really good 4 days of practice.
That's awesome. I mean, y'all tell them all the time, the way you practice, the way you play.
It is. And, I mean, it's hard to get high school-age kids to understand that practice is super important and why it's important. But, man, we did a good job this week. Really responding. I think it's our team captains did a good job getting those guys to respond. But, they're starting to hold each other accountable. And it started Saturday morning. You'll see some guys that, played for us that aren't playing for us anymore, and you'll see some guys that have playing that are going to start playing. So, it is what it is. I want to play with guys that want to be there, that want to give effort, that want to be all into what we got going on in our football program. So,
absolutely.
I mean, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go forward with the guys that they want to play, they want to be out there, they want to give 110% every time they line it up.
Yeah, and that includes practice.
Yeah,
not just during the game.
It absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. You can't flip a switch on Friday night and just
No.
expect to be good. It doesn't happen that way.
No, it never
It
did.
doesn't. There's no shortcut to winning football games. You got to do what it takes.
Absolutely. All right, tomorrow, East St. John, over there.
Yep.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Who have y'all been looking at and keying on over there at East St. John?
So offensively for them, their quarterback, man, he's like 6'3", 225. He's a big old boy. He does a pretty good job spinning it. He does a good job in the run game. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's 6'3", 225,
Right.
so he's a load to get down. Their running back's a quick guy, kind of similar to what you saw last week. Central LaFouche, kind of similar player, like 11. So I think their offensive line is better than people probably give them credit for. There's some big guys up front. They move pretty well. So and in their receivers, they always got receivers. I mean,
Yeah.
St. John, they always got receivers
Yeah.
that can go up and make a play, in a one-on-one jump ball situation. So we prepare for that stuff. That's something that we're ready for. But we understand it's going to be a challenge, man. This is a team that, they're 0-3 right now. But if you look at their opponents, man, they played St. James, they played Destrehan, they played Hammond. Those three teams have a lot of wins on their records through week 4. So a lot of teams in the state would be 0-3 after facing the schedule that they started. So we don't look at that 0-3 and think anything other than they played a tough, pre-district schedule. And, we're going to have our hands full tomorrow night with a really good football team. But we all think that we're a really good football team. So, defensively for us, we got to do a good job making sure we don't give up chunk plays in the passing game. And we got to make sure that we contain the run game because they do a good job on both. And, in a typical season, I think they're a little bit more pass heavy than what they are this year. I think this year they're a little bit more balanced than what they've been. So we'll be ready for that. And then offensively for us against their defense, they got a big front. They got a big front seven. They're big backers that are fast. They got big D linemen, really good skill guys in the secondary. So I think it's going to be a challenge for us tomorrow night to make sure that we maintain strength at the line of scrimmage and do a good job up front. But like I said, man, our offensive line had a great week of practice. We picked up the physicality this week. Practice, we went to the ground tackling. We didn't stay up. We didn't practice those. We practiced in full pads all week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we were in full pads. We went to the ground. We had a physical practice week this week, and I think that's what we need. I think we get back to the basics, be true to who we are, be true to what we want to be, especially with the type of offense that we're running. So we'll see tomorrow night what team shows up. I think you're going to get the best version of us tomorrow night, which is exciting because I think the best version of us is a really good football team.
All right. Anything else?
That's it, man. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I want to wash last Friday away, and the only way that we can do that is to line it up and play somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's that. I'm just looking forward to playing somebody different this week
Right.
and getting back on a football field and watching our guys play.
Right. All right. Any questions from the audience?
You sure?
No.
All right.
All right.
No questions tonight.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, man.
Oh God.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Okay.